We are still on the topic of plant organs, but we are done with the shoot system. Now we are going to discuss the root system or the below ground structures which comprise of the roots. One function of the roots is to anchor the plant to the ground. This anchorage mechanism or anchoring mechanism allows the plant to grow tall without falling. Another function is the absorption of water and dissolved nutrients from the environment, which it transports to other parts of the plant. Roots also serve as storage organs. The ground tissues in the roots store food produced by the leaves during photosynthesis, such as in carrots, radish, and beetroots. Lastly, roots can also be used for propagation. There are several plants that uses the roots for propagation, such as the horseradish, breadfruit, raspberry, fig, and blackberry. Now let's proceed to the regions of the roots. So there are four distinct regions and we are going to start with the root cap. So the root cap is a mass of cells forming a protective layer located at the tip of the root. So this is the root cap. So this layer protects the actively dividing cells called the apical meristem. The root cap also secretes mucilage or a slimy substance that helps the root to penetrate the soil more smoothly. It also plays a role in plant perception of gravity or the gravitropism, which makes the roots to always grow downward. The region of cell division is found just above the root cap. This is the meristematic region or the region where the actively dividing cells or apical meristem is located. So meaning, there is a constant generation or production of new cells in this region, causing the root to grow. So the new cells produced in this region are small and rounded. In the region of elongation, which lies above the region of cell division, the round and small cells produced in the region of cell division increases in length, resulting in the increase in length of the roots. However, in this region, the cells are still undifferentiated or they do not have a specific function yet. The last region is the region of maturation. In this region, the cells are already differentiated or they have a specific function. Either they are a xylem or a phloem or a cell in the pit. Also, in this region, the root hairs are formed. So what are root hairs? Root hairs are extensions of the epidermal cells in the region of maturation. So these are the epidermal cells and this is the root hair. So the root hairs extend the surface area of each cell, therefore increasing their absorption capacity. And in fact, most of the water and minerals, the absorption of water and minerals happens in the root hairs. So they are delicate and they only survive for several days, but as the root grows, new root hairs are formed. Aside from increasing the surface area, they also provide or help in anchoring the plant to the soil. Now let us discuss the structure of a root. So in the root, there is no waterproof cuticle as this will hinder the absorption of water. The outermost layer is the epidermis. It is a single layer of cells that protects the inner tissues. Some epidermal cells, especially in the region of maturation, are specialized to form root hairs, as we have mentioned earlier. The next layer is the cortex, which is made up of parenchyma cells. These cells are large to store water and food. They also facilitate the movement of water from the root hair cells on the outside to the xylem on the inside. The endodermis acts as a selective barrier, controlling the movement of water and nutrients into the plant's vascular system. So the endodermis is lined with Casparian strip. It is comprised of a water-impermeable waxy substance called suberin. So it prevents the leakage of water and minerals from the steel or the vascular cylinder and prevents the entry of substances and pathogens in the vascular cylinder. The stele or the vascular cylinder comprised of the pericycle, xylem, and the phloem. So the pericycle is responsible for forming the lateral roots, and it is just below the endodermis and the Casparian strip. The xylem is responsible for transporting water and minerals to the stem. And we have previously discussed this in our video about plant tissues. And the phloem is responsible for transporting food from the leaves to the roots. Lastly is the pit. So these are ground tissues used for storage of both food and waste products. In monocot, the pit is large and is made up of parenchymatous cells. However, in dicot, it usually does not exist, or if present, it is quite small. So what is the difference between a monocot and a dicot root? This is a monocot root, a cross-section of a monocot root, and this is for dicots. In terms of xylem bundles, monocot has a polyarch xylem bundles, meaning they have multiple xylem bundles, while dicots have tetrarch, or they only have 4 xylem bundles. And as we have mentioned earlier, the pit in monocot is at the center and it is large, and in dicot, it is usually absent, or if present, it is small. Now let's discuss the different types of roots. So we are going to discuss 3 types of roots. First is the taproot. So the taproot is the main root that is growing vertically downward. This may thicken as a result of secondary cambial activity. From this main root axis, lateral shoots develop to form an extensive branch root system. So this can be seen in most dicotyledonous plants. Next is the fibrous roots. And this can be seen in monocotyledonous plants and ferns. It has dense network of thin, moderately branching roots emerging from the base of the stem. And lastly is the adventitious roots. So these are roots that grow from any plant part other than the primary root or the radicle or its branches. So there are several modifications of roots. One is for storage. So the roots become fleshy due to absorption of food material. Nodulated roots, which can be seen in legumes or leguminous plants. So the nodules contain nitrogen-fixing bacteria such as rhizobium, which help in fixing the atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates and make it available to the plant. There are also breeding roots, which can be seen in some species of mangroves or plants that grow in swampy areas. The roots that emerges out of the ground and grow upwards are called pneumatophores. These have minute openings called lenticels that allows the roots to get oxygen for respiration. We also have foliar roots or roots that develop on leaves. A classic example of this is the kalanko or the katakataka. And we also have supporting roots. The prop roots are aerial roots that grow from the branches or stem of a plant and extending downwards to the ground to provide additional support. The stilt roots are a type of adventitious roots that grows from the base of the plant stem at an angle to provide extra support, especially in unstable or watery environments. Lastly is the epiphytic roots, or these roots enable a plant to grow on another plant. So usually these are aerial or climbing plants. So the roots produced by epiphytic plants are spongy tissues, allowing the plant to absorb water and nutrients from the environment.